You know that feeling, right? You see someone get out of a super expensive car, maybe a $100,000 car, and you immediately think, wow, they must be loaded. It's like a reflex for most of us. But here's a wild thought. What if that person driving that car is actually closer to being broke than they are to having any real financial freedom?
And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. Here's the big question. Are you trying to be rich or are you trying to be wealthy? Because trust me, they are worlds apart. And getting them mixed up, it's probably one of the biggest, most dangerous money traps you can fall into.
Okay, let's break this down, because this difference is absolutely critical. On one hand, you've got the whole performance of looking rich. That means high spending, flashy luxury items. It's all about what other people see. But then, on the other hand, you have what it means to actually be wealthy. We're talking high savings, assets that nobody sees, like your investments, and the real prize? Total financial freedom.
So, let's dive into our first big idea here, the rich versus wealthy illusion. We're going to pull back the curtain and show you why the stuff we've been taught to see as wealth is, well, it's often a complete lie.
This is the big paradox right here. Society, media, all of it. They've sold us this idea that wealth is the stuff you can see. The fancy car, the designer watch, the huge house. But the real, life-changing wealth, that's the stuff you never see. It's the money that didn't get spent on that flashy watch. Instead, it was put to work, invested, and now it's just quietly growing and compounding day after day.
Okay, so if spending money to look rich is such a trap, why do so many of us fall right into it? It's a great question, and it leads us straight into the psychology of status. We're going to look at the deep, kind of primal reasons we have this built-in need to, flex.
It all starts with this idea called signaling. This is basically our caveman brain trying to navigate the modern world. Think about it. For thousands and thousands of years, your survival literally depended on your status within your tribe. Well, today, the jungle is the mall, and the marketplace is our new hunting ground. We don't signal our worth by being the best hunter anymore. We do it with luxury stuff that screams to everyone, hey, I've got resources, I'm making it.
And that deep instinct to signal our status, it leads us right into another really sneaky trap called the Diderot Effect. You've probably felt this. It's that crazy thing that happens when you buy one new awesome thing, and suddenly it makes all your other stuff look old and crappy, and you feel like you have to upgrade everything else to match.
Here's how that spiral gets you. Let's walk through it. It starts with the trigger, right? Say you buy a really nice, expensive suit. You feel great, but then the cascade starts. You look down and suddenly your old shoes look absolutely terrible next to this amazing suit. So, okay, you upgrade the shoes, but now with the new suit and the new shoes, man, your old watch just looks cheap. And boom, just like that, you're caught in a spiral. You thought you were just buying a suit, but what you really did was sign up for a brand new, way more expensive lifestyle.
So look, these instincts for signaling and status, they've always been part of the human playbook. But in the last 10, 15 years, something came along and basically poured jet fuel on that ancient fire. And that's what we're talking about next, the social media amplifier.
And this really highlights the massive change. Back in the day, right, the big pressure was keeping up with the Joneses, the family next door. Your world of comparison was tiny. But today, oh man, you're not just trying to keep up with the Joneses anymore. You are trying to keep up with literally millions of perfectly curated highlight reels from influencers, celebrities, and everyone else online. It's a game you just can't win.
And here's the dirty little secret, the stuff the algorithm is specifically designed to hide from you. It never shows the mountain of credit card debt that paid for that perfect vacation. It doesn't show you that the fancy car is just leased, probably at a terrible interest rate. And it absolutely never, ever shows you the sheer stress and anxiety of trying to keep up an illusion that you know you can't afford.
Which brings us to the real and sometimes devastating consequences. We have to talk about the true cost of looking rich. And I'm telling you, it has almost nothing to do with the number on the price tag.
So you really have to ask yourself, what are you actually paying for that status symbol? It's not the sticker price, not even close. Let me just show you with a really simple, but honestly pretty shocking example.
Okay, picture this. You're deciding on a car. You could buy a perfectly good, reliable car for, say, $20,000. Or you could finance that $60,000 luxury car. So the difference is 40 grand, right? Most people would stop there and say, okay, the cost of my decision is $40,000. But that is completely wrong. It's not even in the ballpark of the real cost.
Because the true cost isn't that 40 grand. The true cost is something called opportunity cost. It's what that money could have become. It's like the ghost of the future wealth you killed the second you chose looking good today over being secure tomorrow. It's all about the potential you threw away.
And this is where it gets mind-blowing. Take a look. That $40,000 difference, if you had just invested it, say in a simple S&P 500 index fund getting an average 8% return over 30 years, it wouldn't be $40,000 anymore, not by a long shot. It would have grown to over $400,000.
Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. $400,000. That is the potential fortune you trade away just for the fleeting feeling of looking good at a stoplight. See, when you spend money to look rich, what you're really doing is stealing from your future self. You're stealing their chance to actually be wealthy.
And it's not just about the numbers. There's a huge psychological cost too. When you start tying your self-worth to your net looking instead of your actual net worth, you basically hop onto a hamster wheel of anxiety that you can never, ever get off. You trade away your peace of mind. You trade away your freedom.
All right, so that's the problem, and it's a really powerful trap. But there is a way out. So how do we escape? Let's get into our final section and talk about the solution. It's called Escaping with Stealth Wealth.
So what is stealth wealth? It's basically the antidote to all this status spending nonsense. It's a complete mindset shift. It's when you choose to live below your means, not because you're forced to, but because you've decided that your financial freedom and your options are way more important than what some random person thinks of your car. It's about thinking like an investor first and a consumer second.
So, how do you actually do this? Here are some real actionable steps you can take. First up, audit your social media. Seriously, unfollow any account that just makes you feel jealous or broke. Second, start practicing delayed gratification. Before you make a big, flashy purchase, just wait. Give it 30 days. I bet the urge will disappear. And maybe the most important step of all, define what enough means for you, not for society, not for Instagram.
Because this is the real prize. This is what it's all about. Wealth isn't about a number in your bank account, and it's definitely not about a car or a watch. True wealth is freedom. It's waking up in the morning and knowing, I can do whatever I want today. It's having total control over your own time, because your money is working for you in the background.
So I want to leave you with one final question to think about, a really important one. Take a hard look at your own choices, your spending habits, your goals. Are you building a life of real, lasting wealth? Or are you just stuck on that treadmill, building nothing but the illusion of one? It's your call.